So tonight is a special call. I know that many of you had some requests in reference to status and many different aspects and in reference to products, delivery, and so forth, and where we're going and everything. And we have some wonderful questions actually lined up for our CEO. But before we start with the questions, I just wanted to welcome our CEO, Joe Voyticky, on the call. So let me just kind of bring up here to the platform. So Joe, thank you so much. I know today you had a trying day. There's so much going on, but I really, really appreciate taking the time to be with us today. So thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Chris. Thanks for having me on. And it's always good to see this group that I've talked to, I guess, for now, it's hard to even believe to say this, a decade or more. My goodness gracious.
I know time is flying right by. And folks, yeah, Joe Voyticky is Mac's CEO of is actually Mac's International CEO. He actually comes from a background as a lawyer. He was working for Pepper Hamilton, and he was actually working on a contract to actually do some due diligence with a company called Voyticky, which we all know what it is here today. And whole and behold, he became the CEO of our company. I'm skipping a lot of years, a lot of steps here. And just to give you a little bit of a background for some of you that may not be familiar with Joe Voyticky. So I asked Joe to step in today to kind of give us a bit of an update on what's going on. And we do also have some questions. Now, I also wanted to suggest that if anybody here has some question, keep in mind, this is an open line. This is a line where there's associates, there's new associates, keep that in mind. But in the same time, we have some veterans that have been here for a long time. And so if you have some general questions and you need some clarity on certain things, please do feel free to post them on the chat and we'll address them to, Joe will address them one by one. So right now I have three really, I believe, important questions. And, but Tammy, before I start, did you want to add anything?
No, good at this end.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Well, Joe, again, thank you for taking the time to be with us here this evening. The first question I have for you here is, can you provide an insight into the company's long-term sustainability growth plans, including the strategy to ensure that we're going to have, ongoing profitability for obviously the company, the associates. Maybe you can expand on that if you don't mind. Thank you so much.
Well, sure. Without question, this has been the last year and a half to 2 years has been the most difficult time period that we've had at Max overall. It's for a variety of different, macroeconomic reasons. It's been an extraordinary challenge. And all of those things stem from, the COVID crisis and then the war in the Ukraine, which really led to extraordinary inflation in a lot of our markets around the world. And, in particularly hard hit were the developing economies, economies in Nigeria and Ghana, in Central and South America were hit particularly hard. And when the inflation rate started climbing in those countries, and we're not talking about we here in North America, we're sitting here and we're moaning about 7% or 8% or 9% inflation. Nigeria and Ghana were hit with 50% year-over-year inflation, which is crazy. And then their currencies also were devaluing at the same time. So, in Max, we were particularly we had a good diversification across 21 countries. So, any markets that we were in were hit particularly hard, and so that, of course, affected our revenue streams greatly, and it also affected the supply chain in a big time manner. And then it affected the banks, and I'm sure you guys are seeing news with respect to all of these banks that are being looked at with respect to what's on their balance sheets, and that in turn led to the banks putting pressure on any companies that have any type of credit lines outstanding, and tightening of credit terms, which of course then affects our manufacturers, which then of course affects us and our payment terms. So we had a sequence of events where we have declining revenues, right? That we have difficulty with the product supply chains, all types of issues there, and then tightening credit terms. So that's like, three things that are particularly hard to deal with, all in a fairly short time frame, with products that you have fairly long lead times to purchase product, make product orders, etc. And so as that, all of those events took place, that fundamentally changed the way we could do business, because our credit terms then changed with our manufacturers. And so, there was going to be a point in time where we were going to have some product shortages because of revenue being decreased, while still trying to make new payment terms, which there wasn't as much credit for us with respect to the manufacturers, because they weren't getting the same credit terms with the banks. So essentially, we knew there was going to be a point in time where there was going to be some product shortages. Now, all of that as a background to let I think things that you guys are probably well familiar with, and all of those macro activities or things that took place. And I just wanted to give you guys a sense of what was taking place on a micro scale with respect to Max. So we do have a lot of product that is set to be delivered very, very soon. I'm hoping in the next week or so that we will have a new shipments of products available. And we have even more product coming in toward the end of the month, and then more product being delivered in June. And so we're now into the new world, so to speak. And financially, that transition has been made. So, now whatever the terms are, we're in a position to continue to make payments in the new paradigm until credit loosens up. So that transition is now been made. Products will be coming in, and based upon our projections, we shouldn't be in any difficulty once we get through the next couple of weeks of product supply and all of the things that have resulted from these difficulties. So our future with respect to demands and being able to meet them is, I don't think we're going to have a huge any kind of difficulty at all, unless demand suddenly spikes out of control, which we have some things that we think are coming up that are going to raise demand very significantly. We have a lot of I think terrific awareness drivers and things going on that are going to bring particular attention to Max, and we will get as a group the attention that I believe that the company's products deserve, and the science behind those products deserves. You may or may not be aware that the FDA and the FTC sent out notices to every single seller of health nutritional products and supplements in the country. They gave a warning to everybody that they're going to be scrutinizing the products a bit more, and any product claims that any company is making. Now a lot of companies look at that and say, oh no, that's a problem. Well, it's not a problem for us, because we have the science that is backing our products. And also we are extending all of the things we are doing and pressing very hard to get human clinical data on our products, which is what people really want to see now. We've been talking to groups about going into and looking at human clinicals. I'm not going to mention specifically what, because it risks the ability to do publications. But I can tell you that some of the scientists that I was on phone calls with have said, well, you guys have got all the data. I mean, we haven't seen any companies that have almost 40 years of science behind your products. It's very, very rare to see that. So you guys kind of know what the endpoints are going to be here. You put it through enough scrutiny that these products are really going to work, because it's very, very rare to see any company with this level of scientific scrutiny over such an extended period of time. So we are finally at the point where all of the patients is going to pay off, because all of those studies, all 55 peer-reviewed published studies that have been going on since Dr. Nagasawa started doing studies back in the 1980s, late 1980s, is all going to pay off, because animal models are very they give a strong indication as to whether the products are going to be effective and going to work. And we see all of these studies done across such an array of different disease states and in so many different countries, and looking at so many different things, that the groups that we've been speaking with are, they're very positive about what the endpoints are going to be. So as those get completed over the next year, basically, I think we're going to get a lot of attention, because I think all of us have a great deal of faith that our products are as effective as we believe them to be. And so that is going to be great. Now, of course, the opportunity to go into Mexico, opening the Mexican market, is really going to change a lot of things. I think we'll see excessive growth as we start to go down and market and have events. And again, people there are very familiar with glutathione, thanks to a lot of the products down there that claim to raise glutathione levels. So people are very, very familiar with what we're trying to do and how important glutathione is. So I think that we're going to receive a very warm reception when it comes to the Mexican market. We've had a number of calls with potentially important leaders. We've had inquiries as to what Max is doing. There's just a lot of buzz, and now like Chris and Tammy, I've been around this industry long enough so that I understand that we're the signals, the signs, so to speak. I can read some of the tea leaves, and Mexico is going to be a very, very big market, and I also expect a tremendous amount of growth in the U.S. market, in the Canadian market, because all of the publicity, I believe, that will be coming our way over the next 6 to 8 months is going to be very substantial, and people are going to be coming to look for our products, and I think it's going to lead to some very significant growth. I literally am chomping at the bit to get these human clinicals done. I can't wait to be talking to the FDA and FTC about why our products are superior to every single nutritional supplement that is on the marketplace. I think that, I welcome that conversation, and I certainly welcome all companies to live up to the scientific responsibility and make sure that they're putting their products to the test to see that they're bioavailable and to see that they do what we're telling the consumers that they do. So we are going to be at the front of that charge. We will be very, very loud about it, because we should be. People should know the difference between a product that's bioavailable and a product that isn't. The difference between products that actually do what they say and products that don't. We're talking about people's health and well-being, and people put a lot of faith in what we say. And I know that we can prove our products are unbelievable, and our products make a difference in people and in their lives. So I think that this is going to be just I think it's going to be our best year yet. Between now and next year, June, I am so confident in what we are doing. I am so confident in the people that we are working with all of the awareness drivers that we have planned. With respect to product supply, it's finally, the supply chain issues and all of the issues caused by the inflation and the differing credit terms. I think we're going to see those come to an end over the next couple of months. So I'm incredibly bullish on what's going to happen, and very, very confident in what we're doing. And so I think it's going to be extraordinary for the people who are with us and have been with us. And it's going to be a nice end to what has been a very, very challenging time period. So I'm bouncing to get moving. I really am. I'm jumping up and down. I'm like a caged lion. I can't wait to get out and get moving and screaming at the top of my lungs. I'll tell you one thing that I have lost over my, since I was a lawyer. You will not see me being quiet. You will not see me being humble about our company. You will not see me being humble about our products. You will see me screaming at the top of my lungs about Dr. Nagasawa, about ribosine, about our patents, about our, one thing people don't talk about, right, is that, do you guys know that we have a categorization from the FDA for a new dietary ingredient, right? New dietary ingredient. I don't think, it's very interesting. Look up how many companies have a new dietary ingredient designation from the FDA. Very, very few. That means nobody has our product. It's a new, considered new, right? We haven't screamed about that enough. We haven't screamed about the 55 peer-reviewed studies enough. We tend to be a little bit understated. Maybe that's because of my attorney background. Maybe it's because I talk to Dr. Nagasawa so much, and he's always like, oh, let the scientists go and prove it, and and then people will recognize how great it is. I think it's time that we get out our blowhorns and start screaming and getting the attention, like a passing motorcycle, like that. We're gonna rev up the engine and we're gonna crank it out there, loud and proud, and we're gonna take on all challengers. And I'm gonna be challenging every company to go head to head with us, because people need to know what we got is truly special and can make a difference, and we're gonna prove it.
That is fantastic, Joe. I really, really appreciate the feedback. And I know, Tammy, I've been doing a lot of talking, and I have a few things I just want to, first of all, I want to recognize a few people, Joe, as we continue. I have a few more questions here. But I know that while we were in Mexico and we were not available to do our Go for Diamond calls, the last two calls were hosted first by Jasmine, who fill in for Tammy and I. Jasmine, thank you so much for doing that for us. Really appreciate your time. And also Erica and Pierre also did a segment, and really, really appreciate you guys for the training summit you did on our behalf. And, and we're going to call up on you guys from time to time to share some segments. And by the way, next week, I just want to mention everybody that it's Victoria Day. So I like to I've been respecting this day every year. So we will not have a call next Monday, but the following one, I invited Pierre to share his insights in reference to ad campaigns. He's really, really good at this stuff. And we're going to prepare training for all of you to be able to duplicate this. So it was just a little plug here for you guys to know what's coming with upcoming trainings. And I noticed also we have representation from the different region of Ontario. We have representation from Quebec. We have representation from Merida, Mexico. I believe, Christy, you're still in Merida. So thank you for joining in. And we also have Perkins from Ghana. Thank you for joining in. It's quite late for you here. Appreciate you coming in here. So at this point, Tammy, is there anything that you would like to add before I move on to another question for Joe?
I'm always excited about our science and the stories more than anything. Every single day, we're passionately telling people about what these products are doing, and people's ears, they're opening, right? They want to get more. So it's to get out there, like Joe said, and just screaming at the top of your lungs, because we have something really big in our hands, and everybody needs to know about it. And I know that the pandemic kind of slowed people down, got people comfortable, but it's done. It's over. It's time to really run with this and get into many markets. I mean, there's so many things that we can do. I know that Chris and Pierre, just so you know, Joe Voyticky, Pierre, you can see there, PJ Gallant, he joined us in Mexico with his wife, Erica, which you already know, and he's literally on fire to build Max. And he speaks English, French, and Spanish, as well as Erica, English, French, and Spanish. So you're going to hear a lot of noise at their end. And of course, Christy is very, very new. Jasmine brought Christy into the business, who lives in Merida, Mexico. And also...
she's a lawyer also.
Yeah, a lawyer, and also building in the US as well. So we got some new powerhouses here in the team that are super excited to run with this. So we're excited. with all of you to really take this to another level. And we all know what we have in our hands. We've all got our own personal stories that we just need to, like he said, scream it from the top of the roof.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, the
Tammy, I really appreciate
pandemic, one of the things that the pandemic did a favor for us in is it made people realize how important their health is, and being, having great products and keeping yourself, keeping your immune system as strong as possible, right? So people are now very open for the first time, open to preventative measures, very open, and they're very open to looking for things that actually work. Right. So when we put up the ribocystine.com website, we can direct people where they can get information about ribosine when they want to do research. And people of our generation now are online and they're doing the research, so it's like people are, they're ready to get online and look and find it. And we can point people to legitimate science. We can point them to something that they can be confident will give them the results that they're looking for. So you need to be out there, right? You're at like Janet, for example, and I have to give Janet a big thank you for assisting with one of my friend's daughters who was dealing with the situation that Janet is intimately familiar with. And she's had a tremendous result on the product. So, thank you very much, Janet. And thanks for all your social media posts. They're fantastic. The more we do those things, the better this is going to be. And when this goes, it's going to go fast. So we need you guys to be very aware over the next 2 months in particular. I'm going to make sure that you guys are clearly aware of what we're doing. We will have some pretty big announcements coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You guys will be amongst the first people to hear about these things that we're doing. And you'll have a very clear vision for why this is going to get big very, very fast. And so I can't wait. I can't give you all that information and the details just yet because I'm subject to certain confidentiality agreements with the board, but I can tell you to be ready.
This is exciting, Joe, and I really, really appreciate that. I was putting some hearts while you were talking to some comments. Well,
the thing about it is that you guys know me because you've talking to me for the last decade. I never exaggerate things. I don't tend to hype stuff. I give you guys the truth about what we're doing. I give you my straight opinion about where I think you should be spending your time. Be ready because some big things are coming down the line, and it's going to be explosive, and it's going to be tremendous for all of you, all of us as a group. We have been waiting for a long time for the opportunity that is going to be presenting itself that you guys will get to see in the next couple of weeks, quite literally. And I'm bursting at the seams to tell you right now, but I can't wait. I can't wait to show it all to you.
Well, that's exciting. And in fact, you're kind of getting into my next question. And the fact here, folks, is I just as a perspective in line from a point of view of an associate, Tammy and I, as many of you know, that we're part of the Eric Worre circle, and we hear about what's going on with everybody, right? It's kind of a closed room where everybody share what's happening and everything else. And why am I saying this? Is sometime I'm aware that many of you are getting poached, you're being talked to and you're doubting and you're wondering. And here's the thing here, folks, everybody are dealing with very similar situation. I mean, again, there's no need to mention anybody or any names or any companies here, but some of them are having a very, very, very hard time. Right. But you won't know about it. Right. You'll hear what field associates may want to tell you to bring you into their team. And at the end of the day, folks, here's the thing. What I found is the most successful associates, it's not always because of a product, but it's because of your leadership. It's because of your belief. It's because of your persuasion, matter speaking, on getting people to see the big picture, to understand what's going on. Because I know that all of you know what we have in our hands. Don't be deceived by the white noise, if you know what I mean. right? There's a lot of white noise. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of people's going to try to get you all confused. Stay the course. We are going places. You know, one thing that I never forgot when I read the book the Steve Jobs wrote in reference to his story. And one thing that's really interesting is what Apple went through. And Apple not only is one of the most thriving companies in the world today, but why is that? It's because they had a product that everybody wanted and everybody needed. This is what Max International has, a product everybody needs. But if people don't know they exist, they won't need the product. They won't be searching for the product. We won't be searching for the opportunity. You have to go out there and you got to scream it out loud. And I was mentioned earlier, we've got to get out of this comfort zone that we've been establishing in the past 3.5 years. And we need to go out there and do what we did when we first started. This is really important. And as Joe has mentioned, there's a lot of news that's going to be coming out. Yes, there's been some products delays. I'm aware of all that. But we know that Max always delivers on these things. So stay the course. Keep moving forward. Don't doubt. This is what Tammy and I have done and will continue to do until the end of time. So, Joe, I know that
100 plus years.
So just some of the things on what you just said. You know, there's an image that Chris and Tammy put into their PowerPoint presentations that I remember, where they have that person that's digging all that time and digging and digging and just about to hit the diamonds, right? And if they stop, if they're 1 inch away or a mile away, doesn't matter if you stop, you know. And we are very, very close. Like I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, we are really, really close. Even though this has been probably the hardest time, again, as I mentioned, that we've had, it's almost over. And there's going to be a lot of very positive things that are coming down the pipeline here. And we've taken the time to set these things up during all of this difficulty. You know, we really put a lot of work into restructuring so that we're ready when all of that business starts to come in. And you know, with respect to looking at other companies, you know, I've never shied away from telling people, go ahead, please. You should look, because I know what we have is better than what anyone else has. You can't escape the truth. You can't escape the science. You can be deceived, and you can allow yourself to be deceived, and people can tell all types of, you know, BS, and they can say all types of lies. I mean, I've seen it. We've seen it all, right? Oh, the new technology that's far superior to ribosine. Oh, and you know, just ask a simple question. Oh, well, you have the same studies that Max has? You have the same proof that Max has? Oh, no, this is all new science. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's worth about nothing. You know, they make this stuff up, you know, and that's what it is. You know, ask them the simple questions and you'll see they don't have anything. They really don't. And with this group of people in particular, I'm easy. You guys know I'm very easy to find. And I'll tell you the truth, the straight truth about where we are, what the difficulties are, because I have such an enormous amount of respect for you and your time and your effort, that I always want you to have the sense that, you know, if there's something better for you, I want you to have it, because you guys have put in a lot of time, you put in a lot of effort, and you deserve to have the best. And you're about to have it in so many ways, in so much opportunity that is about to come. So you stuck with us this long. Stay a little bit longer, because it's about to get good, and you don't want to miss out. I can
really
promise
appreciate
you.
that. Really appreciate that, Joe. Just again, I know you touched on a little bit on some of the products that are going to be. I know that the Max Infuse, some folks have been asking, and do you have like some either specific or close to data where people could start expecting their Infuse?
You can start expecting it probably early next week.
Okay.
We have to do a couple of things to get it cleared out, and final certificates of analysis and all that kind of stuff. But it's coming. It's not like a long way away at all.
Okay.
So very soon, very, very, very soon. ATP is a little bit longer. That's still in manufacturing, but I'm expecting that sometimes in June. But it'll be around soon. Now, the good thing about being out of Infuse, is that people finally realize that product is insane, right? That product is so
We miss it.
good.
We're waiting.
Man, and it gives us an opportunity to talk about why this product is so great, right? The reason it's so great and why we recommend it to be taken with Cellgevity is because there are specific ingredients in there that are directed at helping the glutathione production pathway, right? There are patented ingredients that we don't own the patents are, but our partners who provide certain ingredients, they have, they know what they were doing. And this is why, Scott selected these ingredients in particular. This is why Dr. Nagasawa put together the formula so that it works in a particular way in synergy with Cellgevity or with Max One, right? It is very, very important to maximize your glutathione production, and Infuse is critical to that. So when we get out there and start talking about the different products and the different cellular purposes, and that each of our products is directed at different cellular functions, this is proof. It is absolute proof. There is not a substitute out there for Infuse. And so I'm glad that we're done and not going to be out of Infuse in the very, very near future. And it illustrates how terrific that product is.
Totally. And the last one is the Max One. I know that this also has been recently.
Yeah, that's going to be back in stock right away.
Okay.
So it's finished. We just have to go through the final sign off. So that's not going to be out for any time really.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Canadians, that in Canada we have an extra 2 weeks. So often, when things arrive in the United States, we have to wait an extra 2 weeks for Canada because we're going to another quality control. Am I correct, Joe?
Well, it's longer shipping times, right? We ship out of a different warehouse than the one here in Salt Lake. So there's 2 trips that it has to make.
Got you. Okay, but they're coming. And the last point I want to talk about is. Are you planning any events for in the near future, to start celebrating? I know that before you answer that, if Tammy and I are planning, we would love to do a cruise in Canada. We did one back in 2017, I think. And if we organize
evening cruise,
yeah, it's an evening cruise
with dinner,
and it's something that we did back in 2017, I think, and we had just an absolute blast. And when we go back to Canada, we'll start discussing the details and everything else. Is that an event that you might be willing to come down to Canada to spend some time with us? Putting you on the spot.
You mean you want me to come see you guys in person?
Yes,
For
to come and
real.
spend some time with the associates that would like to, shake your hand. And, you haven't seen these guys.
Come on. You know I'll come see you guys anytime. I'm always happy to see y'all. That'll be great. Wherever you want me to come, I'm more than happy to come. And we're going to have a lot of stuff to celebrate and a lot of stuff to talk about, right? Because I know that things are about to hit their lowest point and we're going to start to go back up. And I think everybody here knows that when things are going well, we know how to celebrate. We reward people really well. I'm very appreciative to, all the leaders and all of you guys for understanding how, we had to cut back during this time period to make sure that the business is viable. And sometimes that has to happen. But, as soon as things are on the rise again, we're going to go back to doing what we always do, which is, learn, work, earn, and then go celebrate. And we all love to do that, and we will. It's going to be tremendous. So you want me in Toronto, you want me whatever part of Canada, Ontario, wherever, you tell me where to go, Chris, Tammy, I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll figure this out for sure. Sorry about that. I know I didn't tell you about put you on the spot there. Now, Myra Paul, you have a question there. I am not sure exactly how to address that. How will the digital currency affect our Max business and the ability to get paid when that happens?
Yeah, I'm not yet convinced about taking digital currency. I have read a lot of papers on Bitcoin and the digital currencies, and it doesn't have my faith yet. And I'm not yet in a position where I'm comfortable enough to say that Max is going to take a digital currency.
If I may, Chris and Joe, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about this the global change in the currency.
Oh, you're talking.
How is that going to affect our business?
You talk about the BRICS in reference to the Chinese and the Russians and the US dollar. What are you talking about, Myra Paul?
I'm talking about the central bank changing, removing the dollar to have a digital currency worldwide. So how is that going to affect us at Max? Or how are we going to do business with that?
I haven't heard of a global currency yet. So I can't really answer your question because I'm completely unaware of the US Fed saying, yeah, we're not going to use dollars anymore. I have no idea of that. Send me some information on it. I'm happy to read up and so I can give you an educated response, but I am completely ignorant to this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's put that on for another day, Myra Paul. To a different context, but certainly appreciate the comment there. Okay, so at this point, folks, I wanted to make sure that you guys heard it from Joe. Tammy and I always have a vision. We always are focused. We're moving forward, and we wanted you guys to be on the same boat, and we are as we are with the same information that we get. And I hope that information session was helpful. Is there any other comments or feedback on any of the information I will share here today? Feel free to post them now.
Chris, many of the associates or customers are not on this session that you have. And it's very important to build strong relationships and keep them up to date on everything that's going on. So you want to make sure that you're constantly in communication with the people that you're bringing in, whether it's a customer or associate. That's what this business is all about. Making people feel good, confident in everything that we have. So I highly recommend to get back to your people. And we have the 357 promo too. That's an add-on, you guys. This is not a replace.
Who wants to go to Norway?
This is an add-on, yeah.
Let's go.
So, and this is the key, is to take advantage of all the events and all the different promotions the company put in front of us. And this is the key here, folks. And, don't worry so much about try to win, just go for it. And you just might, right? Just go for it. And I know that the 357, I mean, Tammy and I would not spend a day without it. In fact, I don't think we spend a day without any of the, all of our products, except for lately the Enfuse. But I mean, every single thing that Max provides, there's every single day we use them. And we keep, I'm sure, Tammy, we keep getting, hey, you guys look better now than you were 10 years ago. I say, really?
I'm going to be 60 in like a couple weeks. I can't even believe it. I look in the mirror. It's like, no way.
I know, people are
not
like,
happening.
Really? So at the end of the day, folks, I hope the decision was helpful.
If that drives you crazy, you guys remember when I used to come to the events in Canada with my two little children?
Oh, yes. Yeah, one
of whom is now a junior at University of Pennsylvania.
Wow. Goes fast. Wow. Oh my gosh.
What happened? He was a little boy.
I love PJ's comment here. Pierre, I haven't felt this excited since 1982 when I got tickets for the Beatles Mania. That's cool.
Oh, you're funny.
Yeah. But Joe, listen, we really, really appreciate you. And thank you for taking the time. Really, really appreciate all the information you share with us here. And folks, the call is recorded. And we're always going to put them on the Go for Diamond. As you know, there's a playlist called Go for Diamond webinar, and the call is there. As you know, Marcel picks it up in the morning and she puts it up. And also one thing I wanted to mention, we have a few groups that I really recommend you guys participate. One is the Active Team Group Spanish. And the reason why I recommend it is if you have a story, information, what's beautiful with Facebook groups, it doesn't matter what language you speak. If you have a Spanish phone, everything is automatically translated on Spanish. If you happen to be French, it'll be in French. If you happen to be in English, if you happen to be German, Japanese, Chinese, if you know what I'm saying, this is the beauty of what it's like being in Star Trek with the international translator, where every alien speaks different languages, but some reason we all hear English. Right? You're in, yes, I'm a bit of a sci-fi nerd, but the point here is that it's an environment where language barrier is non-existent, and that's the reason why I highly recommend for you to participate in that. The other one, we have the Active Team Experience. Is that what it's called, Tammy? The Active Team Experience. This is about the business, and it's about the product and about the stories. If you don't, they participate in there, share information. If you're posting something in your pages, share it in his group so we can see what's going on. And the collaboration of everybody doing activities drives excitement. Excitement drives momentum. Momentum drives volume. Volume drives bigger paychecks. So it's all connected. So this is just my 2
Live
cents.
long and prosper. That's good.
Live long. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that.
Max, we ought to adopt that, because that's what happens when you take our products. You certainly live longer and you have a good opportunity to prosper. I love that. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. So everybody, thank you so much again for participating. And if there's any feedback or comments, once the training is posted on our YouTube channel, feel free to post your comments and share some feedback. You can turn around and share that training with someone else that needs it. So those of you that are good in editing videos, take the segment and just share it to someone that needs to hear it. And the key, folks, is don't be a secret agent. Just tell the world, we are here. Our products are so necessary. We have a solution to a common problem. And when you solve a common problem, that's when fortune can be made. So Tammy, do you have any last points you want to share as we end?
Let's get loud.
Again,
Hey,
Joe, thank you so much. And thank you
get
everybody
ready.
for participating.
Get what did Terrell Owens say? Get your popcorn ready, because it's about to be on. I'm telling you, get your popcorn ready. But I want you guys in the game. Make sure you're in the game. This is gonna be great fun. I literally can't wait. And when the news comes out, when the announcements are coming, you guys will be amongst the first to know. It's time to go. Wonderful.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joe. Have a wonderful evening, folks. And again, remember that next Monday, you'll receive an email anyway. It's a Victoria Day, and then the following training we'll have Pierre sharing some of his insight in reference to Facebook ad campaigns and some really interesting things that can really help you start creating a following utilizing Facebook ads. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Hey guys. Hi everyone.
Bye. Great to see you.
Bye.